Hello there, this is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Some men have stroke privilege while other men have to pay money. Yeah, and what I mean by stroke privilege is they can get the panties without spending any money. Now, I know some guys don't want to hear that. That's kind of crazy, but it is a reality. It is a reality. And I was inspired to do this video by someone in my inner circle. They'll send me stuff off of TikTok or IG or something. And it was a woman on TikTok talking about handsome privilege, right? Handsome privilege. And she was talking about how a handsome man doesn't have to spend money to get the panties, get sex, while other men have to pay. And she used the word handsome. Only reason I put in stroke privilege, one, because, I got to do something different. Now, watching about a year or so, dudes will be talking about stroke privilege and won't call my name. Anyway, right? She was talking about men that, women find handsome, attractive, or whatever, sexually appealing. They don't have to spend money. This was a woman saying this. Meanwhile, other men have to spend money. And, it's funny. Well, the reason why I say stroke privilege anyway, and not just handsome, because I've personally known some women going crazy over some guys that the women called ugly. So, I would just say men that women consider sexually attractive, that they want to have sex with. Because I've talked about this several times, and of course, I be getting some pushbacks like, oh, men got to pay money, man. Men fighting over that, right? That's just telling me women don't think you're sexy. See, if a woman thinks a man is sexually appealing, oh, she give him the sex for free. He don't have to do anything. She might pay. She might pay. In fact, it could be almost considered a definite difference between select men and non-select men. Whatever the case. Like if you with a woman and she insisting you pay all this money, she ain't feeling you, man. She ain't feeling. But see, some men just know that. And see, you got some women out there who will do that. Acculturated prostitutes, or as the Honorable Pimp God will call them, acceptable hoes. Acceptable hoes. Right? And I'm gonna tell you what, I gotta stop and get something over here. Anyway, that's the big difference. Now, see, I'm saying stroke privilege because, like I said, some women, they'll get with somebody, everybody else call them bone ugly. The women themselves are called bone ugly. But something about that man's turning them on. Some women like ugly, whatever. Whatever it is, something about that man turning them on. If a woman is turned on by a man, he don't have to spend money. Shoot. All he had to do is come over. Shoot, he might not have to come over. It don't matter what his material stuff is because she wants sex from him. Because remember, these women out here want sex. Now, of course, there's some guys who don't believe that. That tells me where you are. Because if a woman feeling you, all she needs is a spot. It can be behind, it could be in a park somewhere. It can be behind a 7-Eleven. Not 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven, right? It could be wherever. If a woman is feeling that guy, if that guy got stroke privilege. But if he don't have stroke privilege, oh, he got to come out. He got to come out his pocket with some money. He got to come out. He got to spend all that money on a woman. And even then, he still might not get none. Because remember what I always say. You get some women, they'll let a guy take him to a fancy restaurant, but the woman won't hardly eat anything. She'll get that doggy bag. And she'll take it back to that guy. And he can live in the hood, the H-O-double-D. Just go with it, y'all. The H-O-double-D. Or he could be sleeping on an air mattress. Or he might just come over. He might not even have a car. She'll go pick him up. He got stroke privilege. But see, all men don't have that. They don't have that stroke privilege. And a lot of men don't understand that because they've never had stroke privilege. Anyway, this is one of those times it'll be a few seconds for y'all, a couple minutes for me. Got to get some money out. Some things Uncle Rom likes to pay cash for. I'll be back with y'all in a second. All right, y'all, I'm back. Like I said, I had to get some change. Don't worry about it. Oh, you know what was funny to me? Because I always get a detractor. I get some detractor, and they don't think I can recognize their style, but they don't realize, Uncle Rom sees everything. Ooh, wait. I'm going the wrong way. They trying to get me off of here. Motherfucker, you can't get me off of here. I leave when I want to leave. If you stupid enough to think I'm going to listen to anything, just some random shit, you stupid as shit. Yeah, and I'm just saying this to fuck with your goddamn head. They know who I'm talking about. Anyway, stroke privilege. Those guys who got that stroke privilege, you can call it handsome privilege, sexy privilege, whatever. You know, I got copyright. Well, I'ma say the word stroke privilege. I gotta check to see if it's copywritten. Probably some band out there or something with that name. Anyway, all it is you can get the pussy without spending money. That's it. Now I know some guys they can't even comprehend that. Dude, that's because you non-select. If you gotta spend money, because see, here's the thing with women. If a woman wants to have sex with you, she ain't gonna give you too much help. She'll have you come over to her place. It was like I was saying, they'll get that guy who got the money, have that guy spend all the money, and then still take that doggy bag or whatever to the man they really want to get with. That's why you got men out here who are millionaires, even billionaires. Got plenty of money, got all that material stuff, and yet their woman is cheating with a man who don't have none of that. Because see, that's one of the things. See, let me talk about that cheating thing, because I remember seeing something and mentioning something about cheating, and you get men with money thinking a woman going to cheat with a man with money. No, a woman's cheating for sex. Fuck all that shit they saying about emotional and all that and emotional tightness, and those are just excuses. If a woman cheating, she cheating for that. And you don't have to believe me. Look up woman's infidelity, look up adultery. Just do a search on it. Hell, use one of these AIs or something. They'll tell you. When women cheating, the primary reason is for sex. If they want a man for sex, he don't have to do shit. I knew of this woman. She was married to this guy. I knew of a few women married to a guy. And they were getting with quite a few, really. Getting with some extra guy. The guy didn't have anything. Only thing that man needed was a place to cheat. A man with stroke privilege just need a place. And that's only if the woman has a man, a boyfriend, a husband, or whatever. Shoot, I remember this player I knew, and still keep up with each other on Facebook. But he was telling me he been with he knows so many women better than their husbands or their boyfriends. He got stroke privilege. Because you got a lot of women out here, they in dead bedrooms. In fact, you get a lot of women who will tell you straight up, they'll tell you they married. Once they get to know you, they think you down, they'll be like, oh yeah, their husband's like their roommate. They ain't stroking. They might be sleeping in like separate bedrooms or something like that. But when they get with that guy, when they get with that other guy, it's stroke privilege. Because what they need that guy for money for? They got the other guy to give them money. See, and that's usually the pattern with women. They'll get that one guy who's going to spend money on them, and that other guy to have sex with. And even if they single, they dating. Yeah, they'll date that guy who will take them to those fancy restaurants, spend all that money, but then have that same guy drop them off at some other dude's house. Be saying, "Oh no, that's just my cousin." The woman might be even out with him. Tell the guy, "Just play like you my cousin." That's the guy who got stroke privilege, and it could be for whatever reason. In general, because the guy look good. In general, at least to the woman. Or I would just say the man would be sexy to the woman. She turned on. Shit, he might just have a big joint. Shoot, that's all the man needs. Shoot. As long as he turning the woman on. That's why you get some of these women going on these sex vacations. You know, it's still funny to me. Like, you got these dudes call themselves passport bros and stuff, acting like this some new shit. Man, I was hearing about women going to these islands or wherever back in the 80s. In fact, I knew some guys who were from the Bahamas in the 80s, and they were saying, "Oh, yeah, that's part of our economy. These women come down and we get with them, get money out." Shoot. In fact, if a dude got stroke privilege, sometimes the women will pay him. That's how some dudes start out as gigolos. Or, you know, that's how some of a lot of these homosexuals are. Living with a woman, he don't have to work. He can just sit home and he can sit at the house and chill. Drive her car. And it could be on a full tank of gas. He come back. He pick her up. And the car is almost on empty. He doing some other woman. He might have 3 or 4 women or something. All from stroke privilege. And why do they have that? It's very simple. Women want sex. Women want sex. But they only want it from certain men. And it depends on the woman. Like, I know some guys will think, "Oh, it must be Chad." Yeah, they could be among them, but it could be the neighborhood roughneck. And remember what I said about roughneck for any Bammers out there. Know what the slang is. If you some dork and you don't know what street slang is, don't comment, okay? Seriously, don't comment. But yeah, that's stroke privilege. And you get some guys who got that. I mean, shoot, I know guys to this second who got stroke privilege. And they don't have a concept of spending money on women. Yet you talk to some other guys. In fact, I put it like this. All I had to do is listen to a guy talk. As soon as he say, "Well, yeah, all men got to spend money," or "all men got to spend money eventually," I already know he non-select. I already know women ain't feeling him. Because I'm going to tell you something with women. They can fake like a champ with a guy just for the money. They can fake like a champ. Shit, women can even suck your dick in a certain way. Like, real quick for the guys. If a woman's sucking your dick, it should feel like a vacuum cleaner. You should be like, "Gaka, gaka, gaka." But if you got a lot of liquid on there, like a lot of spit on there, she barely touching that shit. She touching it just enough. She just doing just enough. And women, they can be actresses in bed when it comes to sex. In fact, some guys don't even know it. Women giving them pancake sex, and they don't know it. And some women, they know when to fake it just at that right moment. So you don't know anything. They figure, okay, he paying money. He really don't know how a woman's orgasm feels or looks. So a woman give that all screaming and everything. Fellas, let me tell you something about that. If her ass can talk right afterwards or get up right afterwards, she probably didn't have an orgasm. She probably didn't, all right? Just letting you know. If she can get up right away, nah. So, but you get a lot of guys fooled out there as long as they get the money. Because the second, and I would say this, any guys out there paying money for a woman, stop paying and see how she behaves. You'll find out right away. And some women tell you straight up they want that money. But I'm going to tell you something now. Even those women who tell you straight up, oh, you got to have this money, you got to pay this or that. Even those women, I'm going to tell you a little secret with them. They'll still get with that dude. They still giving stroke privilege to somebody. They just being real quiet about it. Like I said, they'll get the money they might get the money out of a few dudes, not give them any. Tell them, oh, you got to wait. We got to wait a bit. Or try to like say, well, you know, you got to spend this money or something. It's like, whatever. Because, shit, you got to have that stroke privilege. And like I said, a lot of guys just don't have it. And see, here's a problem too. And I'm going to put this on the women. They have some guys thinking it's all about the money. But see, that's how women be playing non-select guys. They know how to work them. They'll tell guys like, oh, well, I got to wait. Or they will play them, say they got to wait. Or they got to spend this much money. Got to go to all these places. Be like, psh. If a man got stroke privilege, like I say, he just need a spot. It could be in the back seat of a car. It can be in the back seat of the car in a back alley somewhere if a woman want to get with him. Shoot, yeah, all they need is a spot. It could be at a woman's house, in a crowded house where there's a bunch of people. There was a woman I got with, I mean, she had a house full of people. And I'm in the bathroom, she just doing her thing. I ain't do anything. I was just coming from the gym too. I had on my sweats, shirt. She ain't give a fuck. I ain't to spend one penny on her. Shoot. Have you come over their house? You don't even have to go out. If a woman really wants you, you just need a spot. You just need a spot. And I remember talking with this one woman. She said she got with this one dude. It was in a local park. It was in a local park. He ain't had to spend shit. And that same dude, she said that dude didn't even have his own place. That dude living in his mama's basement. Shit. But that dude had stroke privilege. But other guys got to spend money or do this or that. Like, just even in general, even beyond the money, if women put too many conditions on it, she ain't feeling that guy. She's really not feeling that guy if he got to spend money. And like I said, there's plenty of acceptable hoes out there. Plenty of acceptable hoes. Plenty of women who, as cousin T-Tall would put it, treat sex like a handshake. It's nothing. They can do whatever. And I've said numerous times about that one woman on Facebook, and she asked a bunch of other women how many times they've had sex twice in a day. And I had to stop counting at 100. After counting several times, I said, you know what, I can't go past 100. The third time, because I kept losing count. And what cracked me up about that, and like I always say, what cracked me up about that, they weren't just saying, yeah. They were giving instances. And it really just come down, let's just be real. When we talk about select and non-select, at least the way I'm talking about it, all this other financial stuff and all that shit, man, that's out the door. It really does come down to who women want to have sex with. And that dude could be living with somebody. He could be living with his family or something. He might not have his own spot. If he have a bed, it's an air mattress. It's a motherfucking air mattress. He could be living in a rat and roach infested neighborhood. Shoot. While he getting down, you got the rat sitting over there like, damn, dude, yeah, go ahead and get it. Yeah. That's if a woman wants to get with a man. Now, like I said, you get a whole bunch of guys, they never experienced that. And see, the only reason they say, oh, well, it ain't like that. No, it just ain't happened for you. It just ain't happened for you. And like I always tell somebody, if you got like somebody who can read body language or whatever, you can read what I'm saying. Look at my expressions. Look at my expressions. I ain't bullshitting on some stuff. I mean, it's happening. Like I said, to this second, I know some dudes, they ain't spending money. They just getting this. I know at least one be checking out my videos. You know who you are. I ain't gonna call your name out. Shit. Because if a woman want to have, see, understand something. If a woman want to have sex with a guy, she just want to have sex. You don't have to do all that extra shit. If he got to do all that extra shit, she ain't feeling him. But she might want to eat at that fancy restaurant. Or she might want those gifts or whatever presents he's presenting. And I'm going to tell you what. Let's be real. As soon as you come out your pocket with that woman, she will play it to the extent that she can. She'll go as far as she can. In fact, she might even go out with that man. He took her on about 5 or 6 dates. The most she might have gave him was a good church hug. And then she'll say, you know, you're a nice guy, but she'll find something. In fact, she probably already know it. She probably figure out, okay, how much can I get out this guy? And sometimes they'll run that guy forever. I never forget this woman I was working with on one of my 1,000 jobs. And she had this guy always giving her money. Always giving her money. And me and this other dude on the job would say, look, why don't you just change up one time, give him something? She said, she was like, if I do that, he ain't going to give me money anymore. That was like, it was cold-blooded. We told her she was going to hell. And we was only half joking. She was going to burn for that one. But we understood the logic. We understood the logic. Because a lot of guys really do get played just because of the money. They don't know anything else. They never had the experience of getting any for free. They listen to what some women say. They might listen to what some other guys say. Because every single time I hear a guy say, well, you got to pay at some point, I was like, you non-select. You non-select. It is what it is. It is what it is. Because my logic is, if you got some guys getting it for free, figure out what they're doing. If you got some guys who got stroke privilege, what are they doing? Like when I talk about body game, a lot of times they'll have just that good body at the very least. Like I said, I wouldn't call them handsome. That woman in that TikTok video said handsome privilege. But like I said, I personally known some women. Some women, they call the guy ugly because it's hard for me to tell. It's hard for me to tell, you know, as a heterosexual man. But they were able to look at some men and say, nah, he medium ugly, they this or that. And still gave him some. Still gave him some. Let that guy run up in them. And it's different women. They just, like I always say too, different women like different things. Different women got their own select and non-select. So, whatever the case. And some women, they'll just go for that guy who they want to fuck. Like I know this one woman cheating on her man. She definitely got with this guy who was not anything near what she considered her type. Multiple times, and she was married. Yet the guy she got with, and she told me straight up, she had to get some. She had to get some. Because you do get some guys who figure that out and figure out how to spit just the right game at women. You get some guys like that. Those ain't like numerous though. Those ain't numerous. But they figure out how to get that stroke privilege. And it really does come down to a mindset. Like the main mindset is realizing these women want to stroke out here. These women want to have sex. They want to have sex. Because like whenever somebody might comment or Act like it, like I've talked about that before. They'll get on there and say, oh, these women don't want to have sex. No, they don't want to have sex with you, motherfucker. They want to get down. Because that select, non-select thing in general is, I mean, it's real. In general. Yeah, women got their own individual select and non-select, but just reality. You're going to get some guys who are going to have that stroke privilege. And some guys, well, they better have a good job. They better have a good job. Because if they ain't leading with their wallet, if they ain't doing all that, they gets none. And it is what it is. Because, like I said, women, they got their game out here. And they know they be getting over on some dudes. They know it. I mean, come on. Come on. I know some women watching this, they be like, shh, shh. Hey, Rom, you cool, but shh, shh, don't tell them. And then some guys, I can say all this too, they still ain't gonna listen. They come in with their credit cards out and ready to give that woman the money. No matter what you say, I can say it too, I'm blue in the face. And they still gonna give that woman the money. And then be like, yeah, texting a woman, wondering why she ain't texting back right away, or why she canceled that date at the last minute. That's because that dude, Dexter St. Jack, got with her ass. Yeah. I mean, it's just a reality out here. I mean, a lot of guys, they haven't seen it, they don't know what to deal with it, but it's still out there. Women, they be dipping with certain guys. All guys, hell no. Heck, wish it was all guys, but shoot, sometimes even in their phones or something, they might have the man like the good man, and the crown and shoulder man. And then to take them out to a fancy restaurant, man. Shit, they know. And even when some women try to come up and say, no, I'm only going out with a man with some money, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. All right. Go ahead and tell them that. I already know what's up. No, I'm telling the truth. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Whatever. Whatever. Anyway. That's all I got for today, y'all. Stroke privilege, y'all. You want to work to have it. Part of body game is getting stroke privilege. And like I said, watching about a year. I give it a year. Shoot, might not even be that long. You're going to get some dudes doing some stroke privilege videos. They ain't going to call my name, though. Remember, you heard it here first, okay? You heard it here first. Anyway. Go out here, get some stuff, and I'll talk to you. Oh, got a candy gram. I'll talk to you later. Peace.